Today we're making the Norwegian party cake number 1, kransekake. We need almonds, egg whites, powdered sugar, and some lemon juice. But don't let the simple ingredient list deceive you. This cake is a real head turner and will rock any dinner table or party. I have 2 challenges making this cake today. The first one being that I don't actually have a functional stove, so we have to work around that. The second one is that I actually haven't done this before. I start by grinding the almonds in this both-facey grinder. You could blanch the almonds first. A lot of people prefer doing that to get a lighter colored kransekake. Many recipes says 50-50 with blanched, no blanched. I'm not gonna blanch them today since I don't have a functional stove, and also we would have to wait for the almonds to dry. But if you think my end result is a bit dark of a kransekake, you could go with blanching. You can only get so far with the spatula, so at some time you just have to put your hands in there and get them dirty. Put it in the fridge for a couple of hours, or preferably overnight, and by some Christmas cake miracle I already have one that's just done that. So we're ready to start making the rings. To have an original kransekake you need 18 rings in different sizes to stack on top of each other. You could draw them out on a piece of paper, or use molds like these. You could also roll the dough with your hands and try to make it nice and even, but I'm gonna use this presser thing to do it nice and evenly. These molds are coated, but I'm allergic to sticking, so I'll grease them up anyway and dust with some semolina. The dough is fairly easy to work with. I find it a bit cumbersome to get the joints pretty. They end up with a little bump on them. I also lost a piece of dough on the floor, so I'm missing the 18th ring. Now I'll run over to the neighbor and bake them for 15 minutes on about 180 degrees Celsius. Kransekake is kind of the #1 celebratory cake we have in this country, often used in weddings and baptisms and on Constitution Day. And in my family, we always eat one on Christmas Eve for dessert, together with some ice cream and cloudberry cream. I'm spending Christmas at my mom's place this year, and I was assigned to get this year's cake. That's why I'm trying to make it instead of buying one in a store. So this better be good. A store-bought is about 500 Norwegian kroners with decoration. Okay, now they're done baking, and I think they look pretty good, except maybe the first ones I made. These ones look a lot better. Now it's time to ice and assemble. I use egg whites from 1 egg, 200 grams of powdered sugar, and a squeeze of lemon. And this is the moment that I'm dreading, trying to make this nice with my untrained, not so steady hands. This is probably where they figure out this is not store-bought. Yeah. You can use the icing to make the rings connect better, making it a more stable structure. But my experience is that they can be a little hard to separate. They often end up breaking, and also the icing will be squished. So for a better separation and a nicer look, I'm gonna let the icing set before I assemble the cake. That can result in a more wobbly tower, but that's a chance I'm willing to take. That's not half bad. It's kind of slanted, so it needs a little tweaking. Also as a result from the bumps that I got when putting the joints together. But for a first timer, I think this is pretty cool. Traditionally, kransekake is decorated with flags and these bonbons. They make a little noise when you pull them, and you choose one family member and you each hold one side. And they usually contain a paper hat and really bad jokes. And now for the most important thing. It's a damn good cake. It's chewy and it's almondy. It's a little too sweet because of the icing, so next time I'll make that thinner. But all in all, this works. This is actually a cake that improves when freezing it, and you can freeze it several times. That means you can make this in advance and just thaw it 20 minutes before serving. And if there by any chance would be any leftovers, you just put it back in the freezer. As I mentioned, kransekake has originally 18 rings. I only got 17 and now I ate this one, and my kids will be home soon and there's no way I can keep them away from this. So for Christmas, I'll just have to make another one. And now we know how. Happy holidays and merry kransekake baking.